Good afternoon. I welcome you all to this 10th study circle of year 2023-24. I request our managing committee member Shri Harsh Shivani to escort our today's speaker, Advocate Shri Ratan Samal sir, to dais. Today we are having the lecture of our eminent speaker, Advocate Shri Ratan Samal, on the crucial topic of non-genuine taxpayers. I think this topic is hurting many of the taxpayers as well as also challenges for tax practitioners. Now I request our president sir to say few words on this occasion.
Thank you, Zulfar. Good afternoon to everyone. Respected today's speakers, Advocate Ratan Samal on the dais, my office bearers, Joint Secretary Vinod Maske, Joint Secretary Jatin Cheda, and Convener Sunil Joshi, and all the past president present over here, Ashwin Bhai, senior member Janak Bhai, all the managing committee members present over here. I feel privileged to welcome you all for the 10th study circle meeting of the year 2023-24 of the GSTPAM. The today's topic is non-genuine taxpayers, dealers. There are so many issues involved in these topics. For this topic, we have invited senior advocates. I say that the Advocate Ratan Samal sir. He is always ready for the GSTPM. When we invite him for the any lectures in the study circle, in the intensive, in the PG diploma course, seminars, he accepted the invitation quickly, and thanks for the Ratan Samal for your wholehearted support to the GSTPM activities. Ratan Samal sir his nature is cool and calm person. He is always given so many landmark judgment in the BST, VAT, and also GST for the tax fraternity. So I welcome Ratan Samal sir on the GSTPM forum, and thanks for the accepting the invitation in your busy schedules. Regarding the GSTPM activities, we are eagerly ready to international RRC. The international RRC will held at Singapore and Malaysia between the 29th May to 20th May to 29th May 2024. International RRC always full. There are 65 enrollments for the international RRC. Thanks for all the delegates for the enrollment for such a big number for the international RRC. In the international RRC, Mr. Chetan Bam will enlighten us on the topics GST GST tribunals. He is the one of the speakers for the international RRC. Regarding the full day seminars, I inform all the members present over here, virtual and physical. We will plan to organize full day seminar in the month of July 1st week. At the near Dadar, at the Mysore or Veer Savarkar. My committee chairman and committee conveners jot down the itineraries for the full day seminars for about the venues and speakers and topics. I request all the members to block your date for the July 2024 in the 1st of July. Then regarding sports activities, my convener already circulated the indoor games, which will be held at this 104 library only. Indoor games in carom, chess, and others indoor games. Regarding mega guidance sale, just on 11 May 2024, we had organized the third mega guidance sale. In that mega guidance sale, Mr. Our past president CA Pranav Kapadia and the Monarch Bhatt, Advocate Monarch Bhatt, had dealt the queries raised by the members in the VAT and GST, and they have solved the members' queries in third mega guidance sale. And we have also planned to arrange one more mega guidance sale in coming this week only, I think, on 16 May 2024. The panelists are Advocate Nitin Shah from Pune and the Advocate Sonali Bapat. So I request all the members present over here and those who are attending the study circle on virtual mode, please send your VAT and GST queries well in advance to the guidance cell committee. The email ID is the guidancecell@gstpam.org. I request all the members to send the queries well in advance. Regarding the representation, my convener, Mr. Sunil Joshi and Aditya Kshatriya, they are finalizing the representation regarding there are so many issues. Today also we have not able to downloaded the 2A 2B. Looking to this scenario, and on 20th May, there is a election date. So we request the commissioner and GST Council to extend the date of the 3B to 28 to 2-3 days more. I request the convener to take the points and make the representation on the same issues. There are so many also issues regarding the decentralization of the VAT registration and the other issues. I request convener to draft the representation with the help of Chairman Dinesh Tambre and senior members Janak Wagani sir to finalize the representation, send it to appropriate authorities. Regarding the outstation seminar, we have organized one more outstation seminar in the month of June. That is on the 8th June 2024 at the Sangli. The Ratan Samal sir is also one of the speakers for the Sangli seminar. Yesterday, I had received call from the Amol Mane. The Ratan Samal sir is one of the speakers for the Sangli seminar. These are the activities of the GSTPM. Any suggestions? If you have any suggestions into development of the GSTPM activities, please give your suggestion. The suggestions, all the suggestions are welcome from the members. Lastly, I thanks once again Ratan sir and all the delegates for your presence over here. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, President sir, for your kind words. Now, I will have formal introduction of today's speaker, Advocate Ratan Samal sir. Advocate Ratan Samal has been practicing direct and indirect tax laws before various high courts and tax tribunals of India from year 1993 for last 31 years. During his early years of practice, he has worked as a visiting professor for University of Mumbai colleges such as KC College of Law and New Law College, Rupale. His achievements include appearing in several complex issues in direct and indirect taxes, appearing in public interest litigation petitions for improving emoluments of judges, securing education for specially disabled persons, and appearing in writ petition for improving the administrative setup of tax tribunals. His initiative for assisting specially disabled person has even led to IIT providing a reservation to candidates suffering from dyslexia and dyscalculia. He has also served as special counsel for Maharashtra state in Bombay sales tax and value-added tax area before Maharashtra tax tribunal. He regularly delivers several lectures on direct and indirect taxes law for tax practitioners, advocates, chartered accountants, and GST authorities. He has delivered several lectures on classification of goods and services under GST, which has culminated into short publications published by GSTPAM, and has also regularly contributes to the classification chapter of GST references. In his spare time, he preserves his office hobbies. He's an avid musician and multi-instrumentalist, playing sitar, santoor, flute, piano, and guitar. With this brief introduction, I present before you today's speaker, Advocate Ratan Samal sir. Now I request our president. Now I request our president, Shri Praveen Shinde sir, to facilitate today's speaker. Uh, sir, now dash is yours.
थोड़ा ज्यादा बुक रख चेयर सेक्शन Respected President, sir, Praveen Shinde, sir, other office bearers. It is my privilege, in fact, that I'm here once again today. Same topic, non-genuine taxpayer, right from the Bombay sales tax arena. I'm delivering this lectures during the VAT regime also, since the judgment from Bombay High Court has came. So delivered several lectures on that. Now again, the same topic under the GST law. Maybe no one is taking, that's why it is giving me. I don't know. बराबर ना सीवी सर NGTP बोलेंगे तो कोई लेते नहीं होंगे, इसलिए लोग मेरे पास ही आते हैं. हाईकोर्ट में भी बोलो, ट्रिब्यूनल में भी बोलो, ज्यादातर even for delivering the lectures. NGTP. Now straight jump to the topic because it is a quite huge topic. Let us try to complete within 1 year I mean, 1 hour given to me. Non-genuine taxpayer, NGTP. As such, this term is not defined anywhere. Neither under the old laws, Bombay Sales Tax Act, nor the VAT Act, nor now. Now it is a self-styled terminology used by the authorities, in fact, non-genuine taxpayers. Now, you know that basic background of the GST law, in order to avoid the cascading effect, every stage tax is collected and the tax collected is claimed as a refund either by way of ITC or physical refund is called. And every stage tax has been paid on the differences so that ultimately the consumer will have to pay the tax. That is the whole concept of this GST. Now, whether the tax collected is eligible for input tax credit or not, that is the whole questions on the basis of which whether he is a genuinely claimed the ITC or not claimed, that will be decided. For that purpose, our act provides very clean and clear manner specific mechanisms are provided. As you know that there are clear substantive provisions are there, that is under the GST Act, substantive provisions are available. At the same time, under the rules, guidelines, notifications, bylaws, there are secondary legislation or procedure legislations are provided. Why I am touching this particular aspect? Because if a substantive provisions that is under the sections, if it is provided, and if you are complying, then also if NGTP is declared, then you can take shelter of that substantive law. That's why I'm highlighting this aspect. So that's the most important aspect. Section 9, as you know, that it is a charging mechanism provided that whenever any supply of goods or services is there, tax is leviable on that, provided that tax payability may be different. Tax payability, how you are arriving? Now, after claiming input tax credit benefits from the tax payment, then the tax payability arises. Now, when you are reducing something, that reduction should be as per the substantive provisions coupled with the procedural mechanism provided under the Act. For that purpose, Section 16 is provided. Now, Section 16, I have not come yet to this. Just I'm giving a detailed background so that you will understand how to tackle whenever any attack is coming from the authorities by declaring NGTP. So that's why I'm giving this particular background. Now, Section 16 provides a very clean, clear, substantive provisions for claiming your input tax credit. More particularly, I mean, Section 16, subsection 2. It provides, because that is the heart of the matter. I mean, for the purpose of the today's topic. In fact, Section 16 provides certain substantive aspects or substantive mechanism how you are going to claim input tax credit. There you will find in subsection 2, there are certain parameters, most important parameters for claiming input tax. The first parameter in subsection 2 is provided that you must hold a tax invoice. Causing for a moment. Tax, because we forget. Being a practitioner, we forget. Tax invoice ऑफिसर के पास जब आर्गुमेंट करने को जाते हैं तो टैक्स इनवॉइस दिया ना सर बोल देते हैं. नो. Before you submitting, you verify whether the tax invoice is a tax invoice as provided under the Act. So that in that context, it is written tax invoice. So before claiming that मेरा तो tax invoice है, you grant me ITC. So before you claim to that extent, I mean, while producing this tax invoice, you just verify whether the tax invoice complies the conditions as required for the purpose of the act. With the tax invoice is also a mechanism is provided, how the tax invoice should be and what are the contents it should be, and who has to grant and who has to sign. All these mechanisms are provided. So you before you submitting, first aspect is that you verify whether you are complying these things, number one. So tax invoice. Once you comply the tax invoices or debit note, they may be called debit note also, mechanism is provided. Then, who has issued that one? A registered supplier. You verify whether that registered supplier is a registered person or not. At that time, when this tax invoice was issued, please bear with me. Now he may be retrospectively cancelled. And he might have been declared as NGTP. But when the tax invoice was issued, because in that context it is written in clause A, you please verify that part, whether his number was valid. If number was valid, then it was issued by a registered person. Or such other tax payment documents as may be prescribed. In lieu of tax invoices, if any mechanism is provided like debit note and everything other thing, by virtue of which the tax is collected, and whatever may be the name called, then you please verify before submitting. So the first conditions when you are complying, then come to the second. A statement is generated nowadays. A statement is generated under section 37 by the supplier, stating that I have effected supply of goods and services to so and so and so and so. A statement is generated. For that purpose, a separate mechanism is provided under section 37. So sometimes these statements, whenever you are claiming, why I am harping this one, I will come to the NGTP. Before that, I'm touching all these substantive aspects so that it will be easy to claim before the authority. That's why I'm pointing out this. So as per section 37, when a statement is given by the supplier to you, which was absent in earlier laws, under the VAT laws, under the BST laws, this mechanism was not there. Under 37, a statement is created, the supplies is made. So sometimes, after passing of the years, you may not get. So please ensure whenever a transaction is made, after filing 3B, collect this particular statement, which is provided under section 37. It is written statement. I'm not pointing out any forms. Okay. Maybe prescribed forms are there. Substantive provisions is statements. So even if you collect a certificate from that authority, I mean from that supplier, saying that he has effected sales to you by way of a statement, since under section 37 it's specified as a statement, so you collect at least that will be a circumstantial evidences in lieu of other main evidence. Collect that statement. So these are the two important documents, and third is most important, on the basis of which this NGTP is declared. That is, he has received the goods or services or both. Most important. Whether he has received the goods or services or both or not, so that is the crucial aspect. And fortunately, this substantive mechanism is by way of explanation says that for the purpose of this clause means whether he has received the goods or services or not, for the purpose of this clause, it shall be deemed that a registered person has received the goods, or as the case may be services, where the goods are delivered by the supplier to a recipient, delivered the goods, or any other person on the direction of such registered persons, whether whom you have effected purchases, whether he has delivered the goods to you or some third person has delivered the goods on the instruction of that supplier. Whether he is acting an agent or otherwise, before or during the movement of goods, whether before the movement is commenced or during the movement of goods, either by way of transfer of document of title to the goods or otherwise. Please keep in mind, see the language, beauty of the language. Either by way of transfer of documents of title to the goods or otherwise. Unfortunately, document of the title of the goods, document to the title of the goods or otherwise is not defined here. So you have to take the benefit of that. Document of the title to the goods means under the Sale of Goods Act, because it is in respect of goods, they are saying. So for this particular clause is concerned. Whenever any term is not defined, you have to refer to the general clause or the parent legislations. So here parent legislation is sale of goods. Document of title to the goods is a good document wherein a seller can claim that he has delivered the goods. So there is no format as such. Therefore, earlier days you will find in Masjid Bandar, on the back side of the visiting card, if it is writing something, and on that basis of that signature and the code word used, if goods are delivered, it is nonetheless a document of title to the goods for the purpose of sale. For the purpose of sale of goods. So here also, when you are not define anything, so there is no format as such. लॉरी रिसीट होना चाहिए, रेलवे रिसीट ही होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं है. So since the document here it is not defined anywhere, we have to take the aid of Sale of Goods Act. That is the mother law. So far as the delivery of the goods are concerned, and whether that delivery is a constructive delivery, symbolic delivery, or actual delivery, it is also not specified anywhere. Therefore, keeping in this mind, you have to decide what is the document for title of the goods or otherwise also written. So this is the harping aspects of the matter. Because for declaring NGPT, the actually delivery of the goods was not made. That was the claim made by the authorities. So you please read in between the lines so far as this clause is concerned, clause B, 16(2), clause B, Roman 1, explanatory. There you will find it is written that a delivery proof once made, then this is one of the criteria for claiming ITC. So first is invoice, second one is a statement, third is actual delivery of the goods. That he is not saying that actual goods, delivery of goods, he has received the goods or service. For that purpose, document of title to the goods, if it is coming from some other persons or otherwise used, maybe in any manner by way of bringing a certificate, by way of bringing a confirmations, you can establish that yes, the goods has been received or the services has been. So substantive provisions confirms three things mainly for the purpose of claiming it, as I pointed out these things. Now their contentions for NGTP is that supplier has issued an invoices without supporting the goods, that you have not received the goods. I will come in the later course of my discussions how to tackle such situations. So once you establish all these three things, then you are entitled ITC as per the substantive provisions. Now I will come in the letter course a little bit. Tax paid into the treasury. That also contains in the section itself. By way of clause BA added, very clean and clear manner they are saying that actually tax paid into the treasury indicates that either he is claiming or adjusting against his input tax credit, then that will be deemed to be treated as a tax paid into the treasury. Suppose you are purchasing from A and Mr. A has effected purchases from XYZ, and if he is claiming ITC adjusting against his output liabilities, then that will be deemed to be treated as a tax paid into the treasury. We normally think that tax paid into the treasury indicates actually cash payment into the treasury. No, that is not. If he is adjusting his ITC, then also it will be deemed to be treated as tax paid into the treasury. That was clarified in clause BA. So once you comply all these four conditions, then you are eligible for ITC. I am not standing here to discuss about the ITC because they are declaring NGTP solely on the basis of that the other supplier is a bogus, not paid tax into the treasury, no goods has been passed to you, or on the all those basis they are raising all these. So substantive provisions you have to first establish. For that purpose, you be ready with all these substantive mechanism documents which has been provided under the Act. Once you can comply that way, now come to this write-up. Once you understood this, because my topic is not how ITC is claimed. NGTP is not defined as I pointed. Maharashtra government, our sales tax GST department has declared roughly some 7,000 NGTP dealers under the GST. On what basis? Two things. Tax not came into the treasury. Second, supply is not at all made. Means you have not received the goods, but you are claiming input tax. That may be, they have issued a circular, which I have pointed out, internal circular. I have shown in there also. In that circular, the highlight area to the internal department is that once you paid a visit to the place of the taxable person, if it did not found there, means he is not there, number one, books of accounts are not available there, then in such circumstances, if in the opinion of that particular officer that he is not doing the business there, then you declare he is a non-genuine taxpayer and bring into the list. That is the whole crux. You know that after granting registration, that a certain mechanism is provided. If he finds that suspicious or something doubtful in nature, then they have to visit. That has been provided in Rule 25, I think. I have mentioned also this aspect. One of the conditions in that, once they want to visit the particular place of business, intimation is a must. Without intimations, they cannot. Number of cases I came across, there is no intimation as such. Intimation must be in writing. Intimation means phone kar liya, mobile number hai, vyapari ka phone kar diya, nahi. Intimation means it should be in the in a written form. By way of that I am coming to your particular place. ये किसका मोबाइल है? Intimation should be given. Then visit paid, and if it did not found there, then issue a notice that you are not there at that time. I have issued. Please bear with me. These are the important aspects. Legal terms are I'm using. If you want to come out of that NGTP, that's why I'm mentioning all. Intimation is must. Law says. Not only law says, even Delhi High Court in 2-3 judgments, which I have mentioned in subsequently, has confirmed this aspect. That intimation means not a mere intimation. It will be given in writing that on so and so date, I'm coming for this. Now, intimations, after giving intimations, then also this, he was not available there, books of accounts are not there, no one is cooperating there. Then in such circumstances, next course is that he has to issue a notice stating that why he should not be declared as a non-genuine person and or he's not doing business there for which he has been granted the register. And that is a notice. Please see the language. Notice, once you say that a notice is to be intimated, a separate mechanism is provided under the Act for service of the notice. Strictly, it is required to be followed. Any notice is to be granted, any notice which is to be given, that should be in as per the rule prescribed for serving the notice. If the serving of notice is not made in consonance with that particular rule or that particular section for which the notice is to be, the mechanism is provided, how the notice is to be served, then no notice is served, it will be termed. This I'm not saying, Ratan Samal is not saying. It is the Supreme Court, our Bombay High Court in various cases under the VAT regime, GST regime, they are saying that it is to be strictly followed. One of the beautiful example is Ankita impacts under the VAT regime, NGTP, non-genuine taxpayer only declared. I have not given here. That is the Ankita impacts. There, the notice was not given properly. Then in such circumstances, no notice, no opportunity was granted. Therefore, that intimation, a subsequent notices which is required to be given for declaring he is a non-genuine taxpayer or he is not doing genuine business. These are the mandatory conditions which are required to be complied. But unfortunately, I came across a number of cases where I didn't found all these mechanisms which are prescribed under the substantive law is followed. These are the substantive mechanisms provided before you have to declare that he is not doing his business or he is a non-genuine taxpayer. Now, normally, a second aspect comes. When you are not eligible to claim input tax credit, if you are not complying the conditions as I provided under subsection 2 of section 16. If he has been declared ab initio, his registration certificate is cancelled from the day on which it was granted, if his registration is cancelled, retrospectively cancelled. Then in such circumstances, you have to see whether that gentleman whose registration is cancelled, he has been challenged by way of appeal or not. Because department will be so that we have declared non-genuine taxpayer to Mr. So-and-so from whom you have effected supplies. So you are not eligible to. So you please verify this aspect whether he has contested his cancellation of registration or his cancellations with retrospective effect or not. You please check with that. Even mechanism is provided belatedly also you can file. That gentleman whose registration is cancelled, he can file appeals or revocation, whatever may be name called. So then in such circumstances, because I came across in one of the matter, heavy matter, they have declared NGTP to so many people. And I have effected purchases from them. One fine morning, they have tried to cancel my registration certificate. So they issued a notice. I replied that I have effected purchases from all registered dealers. So I established saying that, see my number of employees, my electricity consumptions, see my consumption of raw materials. Then I finished goods are there and I have effected export sale, yeah, local sales. I'm substantiating my claim. So you are declaring that your purchases are non-genuine. Then one fine morning, they have cancelled my number. I applied for revocations. Then they didn't agree. Then I went to directly High Court. Once the petition is filed High Court, they realized something wrong. Then separate investigation proceeding was initiated by the commissioner once they received the writ petition's copy and directed that and verified all these things which I have given on the records. Mainly electricity consumption, power coal consumption. I'm a manufacturer. All these are the materials which are needed to be looked into carefully. So how you are declaring NGTP to me in the list they have published? Then immediately the lower officer has filed an appeal against that order. I am not filed it. I have not filed it. Against the cancellation order, because both side appeal can be filed. Cross appeals can be filed. Both appeal filed. So they filed appeal, restored my registration. So these are the things to be looked into before declaring an NGPT. I will come in the later course. There are some other aspects also. One of the highlight area is that if he has filed appeal or not, you have to check. And whether he is contesting or not, then once the appeal is filed, appeal is admitted, then he can't be declared as a non-genuine taxpayer. Yeah, my purchases are from non-genuine purchases from non-genuine taxpayers, so that ITC could be disallowed. So you have to keep in mind these aspects also. I have highlighted section 25 very clearly. This way, I am rule 25. These are the few judgments wherein Delhi High Court, mainly Delhi High Court, in 3 judgments have taken cognizance of these things, that whether notice he was available there or not, whether notices are given, whether intimations is given or not, whether he has gone in appeal or revocations or not. All these, taking into consideration all these aspects, they have decided the matter in favor of the SSC. Now coming to the fake issue of invoices without underlying supplies. As I pointed out, the substantive mechanism provides that these are the things is to be looked into for deciding whether goods or services are received or not. Very categorically, I am pointing out that part, because on that issue only they are cancelling the register. Subsection 2, clause 1b. How to know whether goods are received or not, because law is defined very categorically and cleanly defined. So we no need to import something new things. Kya hai, kya nahi. We have to see what the law says for the purpose of deciding whether goods are received or not. If those documents are available with you or submitting, then you are eligible to claim ITC. CBIC has issued circulars. I have quoted those circulars also, wherein they provided various mechanisms, mainly in this 19th circular. See, very clean and categorically, they have provided the guidelines to the officers that they have to, before cancelling retrospectively or prospectively, with under the garb that is not doing a business or under the garb that is not doing a genuine business, then they have to undergo certain procedures that is laid down in the circular 19 by the CBI. Please go through those parameters they have laid down. I have highlighted that please check his electricity bill if he is a manufacturer. He is doing a business or not. How many employees are there? Please verify in the records of the society whether he is doing business from here or not. All criteria, some 40-50 criteria they have given. Whether the officer has verified these criteria or not, you have to check that part before declaring NGTP. So CBIC circular during 2019 is most important. So there various, mechanism are provided how to identify whether he is a non-genuine taxpayer or not doing genuine business. Now, once you found that part, then intimation for visiting, then as I pointed out, the show cause notice. Now, further a circular is issued in 22, 6th July, I think, 6th July 2022. Another circular is issued. In that circular, they are not saying how the non-genuine taxpayer is to be decided and NGTP is to be declared. They are not saying that. They are saying once an NGTP is declared, then what is the remedial action is required to be taken by the authorities. That is a different part. 19 circular, you have to see the parameters are followed or not. Why I'm saying that circular is having a great relevance because, as you know, that under our law, some 180 ki aage kuch section, the board can issue circulars as a guideline instructions that is provided. Under the earlier law, it was not there. Under the GS law, it is available. So once it is provided very clearly, categorically instructions, these are instructions are to be looked into very carefully, as if it is some rules or bylaws like that, because the section provides. So whether the officer has complied with 19 circulars guidelines given or you have to verify that. Now thereafter you will come to this 22 circular. What the 22 circular says? The 22 circular says once he is declared a non-genuine taxpayer as per the mechanism provided under the law, then in such circumstances, since there is no supply of goods at all, therefore the questions of asking tax from that supplier doesn't arise. Either equal to the tax component or 10,000, whichever is more is to be collected from that person. Please see what is written. Normally that doesn't comes from the officer's signature, that orders. What it says, how much he has to pay, that so-called non-genuine supplier, maximum 10,000. Yes. Whichever is higher, it is written. So 10,000 he has to pay. Suppose he has deposited some tax already on the basis of which you are claiming also and you are subtracting, then what will happen to that? Whether refund is granted to them, because refund mechanism is also provided under the Act. If no tax is due to the treasury, if collected, then you have to refund it. That mechanism is also provided. So if no supply of goods is involved, it is not falling under section 7, then in such circumstances, no tax can be imposed or levied on that particular persons. That is what the circular says, number 1. But penalty can be imposed. Now how much? That is 10,000 rupees maximum. Or the tax. Suppose 6,000 is there. Then 6,000 tax component. Then second, reversal is required to be made in the hands of the recipients. Reversal is to be. Now, once a reversal question is coming, if you are establishing that I have received the goods, maybe the contingency under the VAT arena or the Bombay sales tax area also, these things have happened. You are procuring the goods from Mr. A. If A is having 5 companies, 5 establishments, the goods are moved from one Mr. X, controlled by A, and invoices issued by Mr. A. Invoice is received by A. Then goods received. I have no control on my supplier, because from which which organization he is issuing the invoices and the goods from which he is supplying. He may be having an internal, distribution chain for the supply of the goods to A to X, then X is supplying the goods and A is we don't know anything. That may be internal adjustments. What we have, what we have to focus, the thing is that we have to focus whether the substantive mechanism which is provided under section 16 bracket 2 clause AB is followed or not for recipient of the goods, for receipt of the goods, actual receipt of the goods or not. The term used, whether we are complying or not. If you maintain a document of title to the goods, document, as I pointed out, document of title to the goods, not always a lorry receipt or anything can be. Or that's why the term is used either a document of title to the goods or otherwise. So please be ready with one of the documents that you have received the goods. Then in such circumstances, because we don't have any control from whom the goods is coming and from whom the invoices are receiving, unless concrete evidences is established by the department. Because normally they don't collect all such type of evidences. Then, as I pointed out, that the 10,000 penalty will be levied and reversal will be made by the ITC in the hands of the recipient of the goods. Sometimes they decide how to be declared NGTP. 90 to 95%, if you are claiming from ITC ledger, see, the supplier has not deposited tax into the treasury. How the revenue will fund that particular part? If 90 to 95% ITC claim is there, his ITC claim is there, balance 5% only cash deposit he is making, then he will be deemed to be treated as a non-genuine tax. That is the guidelines given in the state authorities circulars. Substantively, that means somewhere it is written and it was claimed in one of the judgment also 90 to 95%. If ITC is claimed by that gentleman who has supplied the goods to you, then it will be treated as a suspicious dealer. Then verify all these aspects. Follow the 19 circular issued by the CBSE. Undoubtedly, that circular provides reversal as well as imposing the penalty on the recipients. Then in such circumstances, suppose the imposition of the question of imposition of penalty also comes, then how it is to be looked into. For that purpose, I have given this judgment of 25 STC, which is followed till date. There the guidelines are given. Okay, so that's why I have given this judgment of Hindustan Steels, merely providing a mechanism of imposing penalty that doesn't suffice that a penalty. Certain other things are required to be made before imposing penalty. Culpable, mental, mens rea, all these aspects are looked to be into under which situation that person has violated the provisions. All these things are to be seen, then penalty can be imposed. If at all, penalty to be imposed on the hands of the recipient as well as on the hand. Thereafter, it was developed in Karnataka High Court in Manjunath Cuttons, though it is under the Income Tax Act, but how the penalty is to be imposed by the authorities and how it is to be looked into. On that basis, this Manjunath Cotton is continuously following under the tax laws, and it was approved by the Supreme Court also, the Karnataka High Court judgment. So these are the two important judgments to look into the penalty aspects. Now, wherever taxpayer furnishes sufficient documentary evidences, make an argument so that taxpayer has not issued fake and the transactions are genuine, the penalty cannot be levied. Look into all these aspects. Now, come to the investigation proceedings. Investigations proceedings are normally initiated. Statements are taken from that particular person. And Sometimes by way of force also, he gives the statements to, because sometimes the supplier has not deposited the tax into the treasury and he has no mean now. Now what he has to do? He has to file an affidavit. Officers wherever visits to them, वो बोलते हैं भाई तू एफिडेविट दे दे, तेरे को छुटकारा मिल गया, 10,000 पेनल्टी लगेगा, यू आर गॉन। फिर बाकी जो है आईटीसी रिवर्सल वगैरह वगैरह हम जो करना है करेंगे। So what is the value of that affidavit and the statements? Because majority of the case NGTP matters, you will show, yes sir, late today. In the case of NGTP dealers, normally they took affidavit or statement of that particular persons. Now the questions were, it was adjudicated in various courts that what is the value of that affidavit and the statements. In that context, I have given all these judgments in para 16. The value of the statements. The value of the statement given to an authority is a limit, I mean, not that have a substantive value. It has a limit unless it is corroborated with other documentary evidences. So in that respect, I have given this 2-3 judgments. %99 that opposite party gives the statements. On that basis, they ask that a reversal is to be made. Now, on the basis of NGTP, normally, first what they do, they ask that you pay the tax component which has been reversed. If you don't have this amount, then pay the tax component. Then provisional, or else what they takes the action, immediate action. या डराते जो है तुम्हारा प्रोविजनल अटैचमेंट करके हम पर्सनली ले लेंगे. There are several matters jumped to various high courts, including our Bombay High Court, where my office has argued personally so many matters. There are certain mechanisms are provided for the purpose of provisional attachment after declaring NGTP. If that particular procedures are not followed, then in such circumstances that provisional attachment goes. If provisional attachment abruptly made by the authority, then in such circumstances your stance should be very clean and clear that you first verify whether commissioner is making a provisional attachment. No other authority is delegated to make a provisional attachment. Normally, they make a provisional attachment. And that commissioner has to form an opinion. And what should be the opinion? Opinion should be corroborated with various documentary evidences. Then only you can attach provision. So 99% cases throughout the India, wherever provisional attachment has made, they will look into these two aspects. On that basis, they have vacated that. Recently, अपना बापट साहब का भी एक आया, I remember. निकिता बहन के भी आया एक matter. And some of the judgments where once you file a writ petitions, then immediately that commissioner calls you and he vacates the attachment and investigate other proceedings are starts. So that happens also sometimes. Supreme Court by Honorable Chief Justice Chandrachud, Radhakrishna Industries, State of Himachal Pradesh, laid down certain principles under Article 140 in this matter. When a provisional attachment is to be made, when you can ask for reversal, all these aspects are decided in this matter. Very categorically, they say two things that the commissioner has to approve and the opinion he has to form with the corroboratory documentary evidences, and you have every right to see those. Thereafter, only this provisional attachment can be made after declaring NGTP to others, and when you are reversing, and if not paid tax into the treasury by the person who is recipient of the goods. So this is an important judgment. Now, next is publications of NGTP list. Whether authorities can publish the list in the official website. This question came up under the VAT Act. In fact, in one of the matter, I have challenged before Honorable Bombay High Court. Honorable Justice Chandrachud was also there at the time. They said, what the language of the section says, you please see. In the public interest, if the publication is made, then in such circumstances, that publication is valid. Now, what is a public interest? It is a subject matter. Subjective, once again. Because in our tax laws, whether it is a direct tax law or indirect tax, right from the beginning, no informations of any person, I mean, information of any taxable person cannot be published loosely. For that purpose, section is available in our law, 158 or something. This is that information of a person, taxable persons, cannot be brought into the public domain, except publications for public interest. Now, once you say that it is a public interest, then you have to bring into the record what is the interest of the public there. If I declare a person's name that he is a suspicious, only issuing fake invoice, the other persons may not go to him, buy the or procure the materials from him, because he is declared as a NGTP dealer and only issuing the fake invoices. So that establishment of public interest is to be brought on record, then only they can publish the list. But sometimes loosely on the basis of some affidavit is given by the other persons, they are publishing the list. So you can challenge very well where the public interest is involved. He may not be able to pay tax into the treasury. That's why he may be giving this affidavit and all these things. So these are the things is required to be seen before challenging the publications. I have given the judgment Timex where VAT of 30 published, and I have challenged that part. Most important now, supplier side control. See, as I pointed out very clearly, what your substantive provision says, substantive provision under section 16 says that before claiming an input tax credit, you have to bring on record, these are the criteria, 4 criteria, which I have pointed out to you in the beginning of my lectures. Once you brought all these 4 aspects, a genuine, I mean, a tax invoices, number 1, as I pointed out, section 16. Then so far as the recipient of the goods is concerned, actual receipt of the goods is concerned, delivery receipts, not always lorry receipt as I'm pointing out, or RR, any delivery receipts, because it is written in that manner. You can challenge that part. Then you can very well claim the ITC. Now tax paid into the treasury, how you are going to look into? Whether he has adjusted ITC or cash deposited, it is not our business. It is to be seen by the authorities. Once you established this one, then you don't have any other control around the suppliers. Now I think they have changed the law in the procedural aspect, and they have published the name of that particular person. I mean, the person who is supplying the goods, he has to upload the various buyers list, I think. ऐसा है mechanism? क्या बोलते हैं उसको? GSTR? 2A is gone, no? Now 2B. Now 2B, It, 2B. Once it is reflected in the 2B like earlier 2A, like it was. So once it is reflected in 2B, you can claim the ITC. Whether he has deposited the tax into the treasury not to be looked into, any mechanism is provided.
There is two information on whether the supplier is filed with
3B. 3B is a return, regular return.
No, there is also percent comparison compared to 1. 3B में कितना tax भरा है, that percentage is also
For raising the doubt or suspicion in this case. But the law says very clean and clear manner. Substantive provision says that tax paid into the treasury means, as I pointed out in clause AB, tax paid into the treasury means even that other gentleman can take the benefit of his ITCs. Then it will be deemed to be treated as a tax paid into the treasury. That is the substantive provision is says in section 16(2) bracket AB. And receipt of the goods delivery. So once you say that, argue all these things, then even if department says that taxes not came into the treasury, then you have to contest in this manner that you please see in the language of 2AB and whether I'm complying 2AB or not, number one. In respect of the goods, actual receipt of the goods and actual payment of tax into the treasury. So for that purpose, what I suggest, take a certificate from that gentleman that he has deposited the tax into the treasury, because no mechanism is provided under the Act. 2AB says that once he has claimed ITC, not it is always cash payment. He can claim his ITC. That's why the language he uses in 2AB, that even if he takes ITC, then it will be deemed to be treated as a tax paid into the treasury. So tax actually came into the treasury is to be interpreted by looking into 2AB and receipt of the goods on the basis of delivery notes and invoice. And the statement, as you are pointing out, to 2B now, form 2B, in the form of 2B, earlier 2A statement. Now it is 2B statement. These are the 4 requirements for claiming ITC. So no reversal can be made. See, the mechanism provided under the law is not followed by the strictly by the authorities. That's why we are jumping to the various. Questions कहूँगा ना, sir? Yes, please. Yes.
It's a big racket. And what I've observed that everyone is taking ITC. And because of that, now 1% at least tax has been paid. That has come because of that. And
no, 1% tax means what?
Liability, at least liability 1%
on cash payment.
Cash basis. Otherwise, ITC. In that case, in many of the cases,
it provides in the circular on the section. No, 1 minute. Whether it is provided in the circular or it is provided under the substantive provision section 16, I didn't find.
and in that case, that entire circle, if anybody is, then it gets reversed and then it gets affected, and then from beginning they are being considered it's a thing. So necessarily is what you have really suggested that we should get a certificate. That is
Certificate. Because no, not only the circular, you, sir, earlier also we had many discussions on this. NGTP declarations. It is to be strictly as to be made as per the circular issued by the CBIC in 2019. 2022 circular which was issued, that was a action, remedial action once you declare an NGTP. So there a broad category is provided. how to be looked to in order to find out NGTP before declaring NGTP. Because our Maharashtra state has in the circular, they have not provided in the internal circular in such a huge manner, but CBIC has provided, because I have challenged one of the matter and succeeded also on that, because I have shown these power consumption bills, then paid to my staffs, this salary register I have shown, then professional tax, how much I have paid for that particular month. All these things are, you will come across in this 2019. So after verifying all these things, because casually they are declaring NGTP, that is happening because some commissioner has issued, some central authority, a list. I found during the search and survey proceedings that these are the 60 people are involved in this racket. So you declare 60 people. So normally they declare because central authority has told. So on that basis, also one of the list declared to one of my clients. So I jumped to the directly to the high, showing all these evidences. See the parameter laid down in 2019, and now you are asking that he has been declared as NGTP. Therefore, you have to reverse your ITC, and my registration also you are cancelling on that basis. So these are the things to be looked into. 2019 circular read with section 16, and what are the mechanisms are provided in respect of mainly two categories, not the invoices criteria for claiming ITC. What the law clearly defines, two things as defined. One, so for what actually received goods, what does it means? That is defined. I have pointed out very clearly. Section 16 says, when can you say that you have actually received the goods? No, they are saying document of title to the goods or otherwise. Or otherwise is to be construed in that manner. It is not necessary that always LR, RR and everything. Even a delivery note given in the normal course of a business, why it should not be taken? Because the language says document of title to the goods to the extent of transfer of goods from one person to another person or otherwise. These are the things to be seen. Yes, anything. That's why I told you, I gave an example that in Masjid Mandar earlier days, if a gentleman gives some code number, something in the visiting cards, चिट्ठी बैक साइड में विजिटिंग कार्ड में साइन करके या जो भी कुछ एक सिंबल दे रहा है, यू गो एंड टेक फ्रॉम द माई गोडाउन, 5 करोड़ का माल भी उठा देते हैं आप.
Signatures are not there on the papers. So whether it could be.
It should be invoices means because it is written tax invoice. Once you say that the tax invoices, the corollary rules you are required to follow. Whatever the structures made in order to make a tax invoices, these are to be strictly complied. So before you submit anything to the authorities, you have to verify categorically that whether it is a tax invoice or not, number one. Because the 4 criteria is to be fulfilled, tax invoices is there or not, statement in 2A, 2B, earlier 2A, now 2B, statement of that particular supplier that declaring the name of these persons, 2, 3, that actually payment of tax into treasury, if he is adjusting against his ITC ledger, you verify from the record or ask from the department whether he has been paid tax into the treasury. Paid actually means not actually paid, like earlier laws. Earlier law, something context is different. Then next is actual receipt of the goods. As I pointed out, actual receipt of the goods is defined. What do you mean by the actual receipt of the goods? In the substantive provision in section 16(2) itself it is defined. Once you are complying all these 4 conditions, then rest of the mechanism, I mean machinery mechanisms, once you comply these 4 parts and you are establishing, then you are entitled. Merely somebody is giving a statement or some officer has given a list, on that basis you have declared his retrospective registration, whether he has filed appeal or not, cancelling the registration certificate, then that is not suffice. Declaring NGTP losing. Because suppliers, that's why, see, when we are touching these aspects, once your sale is not doubted, kindly see, you are effecting purchases that has been doubted, and your sale is not doubted. That's the most important part. You have to take care that your sale side collection, whether doubted, once your sale is also doubted, then you will also declared as non-genuine taxpayer. You are also ranging in the. If your sale is not doubted, then the burden, on whom the burden lies, this question arises. Please bear with me. So far, this proposition is concerned. Your sale is not doubted. You are effecting purchases from somebody, claimed ITC. Your sale is not doubted. Your purchase is doubted. On that basis, ITC reversal is directed by the law. This is the proposition. How to be looked into. Then matters, so many matters jump to Calcutta High Court. There are 3 judgments I have enlisted here. There they said, if your sale is not doubted, then you should not establish. It is the revenue who has to establish that you have not purchased from this source and you have effected purchases from the other source. You should not establish. Because your sale is there. So actual receipt of the goods is there. So department cannot claim that you have not received actually the goods. Otherwise, how the sale is effected? For that purpose, what they did, how the Calcutta High Court has looked into, because we forget normally, under income tax law, when a mass raid under the Bombay sales tax law or under this VAT law was made, then the income tax referred to income tax, and income tax also raided various premises, and the orders are passed and the matter has been jumped up to Supreme Court. Supreme Court has laid down certain parameters in the 2 of the judgments I have given under the in the bill. 2 judgments. There they have said very clean and clear, when your sale is now doubted, VAT authority has reported this case to the income tax authorities. On that basis, you are taking a tax. Then in such circumstances, first you have to doubt the sales in order to levy the tax entire transaction. There may be some loopholes. So considering these 2 judgments of Honorable Supreme Court were laid down certain principles, then in such circumstances, the burden is always on the revenue. Undoubtedly, in section 155, if I am not mistaken, who has to establish the burden? I mean, on whom the burden lies. Earlier laws under the VAT law and BST law, it was not there. Burden on whom it lies. First time under the GST law, you will find in section 155 that on whom the burden lies when you are claiming an ITC. When you are claiming an ITC, the burden is on you to establish that, yes, I am eligible. First time under the GST law, it is there. Please keep in mind. Otherwise, earlier laws, it was not there. So in order to claim, I mean, in order to establish your burden, in order to fulfill your burden, section 16, subsection 2's 4 criteria you have to comply. That's why those substantive provisions I have pointed out very clearly. Once you establish, then your burden is discharged. Now the onus is shifting to the revenue. Rest of the things, how it is moved or not. Once you discharge the burden is specifically what? You have to discharge your claim. Now, how you have to discharge? If the law provides, then on that basis you have to go. Section 16, subsection 2 provides 4 criteria. How before you claiming ITC, you have to comply these 4 conditions. So once you establish these 4 conditions, then your burden is discharged. Now the rest onus is on the revenue, not on you. So you have to make a clear distinction of these 2 aspects. Okay, so now when you are claiming, you have complied. So far as this burden of proof is concerned, how the burden is to be discharged. Against it has gone because 155, the basic 4 essential, I mean, things before claiming, you have to comply. That is not complied in that. Therefore, they have rejected the claim. Malik Traders. Yes, sir. Then judgment under the previous law, you should not overlook. Arise India is there. Delhi High Court decision, which has been approved by the Supreme Court. Unless actually tax paid into the treasury, it was absent in the Delhi law, earlier VAT law. Please keep in mind, in our law, section 48, Maharashtra Value Added Tax Act, unless actually tax paid into the treasury was there in Maharashtra Value Added Tax. But under the Delhi VAT Act, unless actually tax paid into the treasury was not there. But unfortunately, unless actually tax paid into the treasury was not defined under the earlier law, VAT law. Now it is defined. Actually tax paid into the treasury, section 16(2)(a)(b) is defined by way of explanation. What does it mean? If you comply that one, then you are discharging your own burden. Even that was not discharged, therefore it was. Now in Arise India, Supreme Court has approved. So there are certain principles laid down in Arise India under the old VAT law. So those things I have given. Then recently this Karnataka High Court has given some judgment on the basis of burden. What it should be the burden, whether you are discharging your burden. Burden always, please keep in mind, these are the 4 conditions which to be complied under section 16(2). Once you comply, you discharge your burden. If it is not discharged, then in such circumstances, like this, the state of Karnataka, ECMO, Gill Coffee, the case will come against you. So initial burden of these 4, which I have pointed out categorically, you comply. Then Mahalakshmi Cotton Ginning means you know VAT law. That is, in fact, this judgment is not on how you are claiming ITC, whether it is a proper or not on that issue. It was challenged section 48 whether virus is challenged by us. So on the challenge of the virus, on the basis of affidavit, certain guidelines has been given by the Honorable Bombay High Court. Those guidelines are important, and on the basis of the guidelines is required to be followed by the revenue as well as by the taxpayer. Now, these are the communication was made to the income tax authority. On that basis, the Odeon builder has laid down, Supreme Court in Odeon builder has laid down certain principles, even followed by our own Bombay High Court in Muhammad Haji Adam and Company. Why I am giving these important judgments? Because in the Calcutta High Court, when they have claimed, when NGTP is declared, they said that we have established our burden under section 16, and Supreme Court under income tax though has laid down certain principles in Odeon as well as in the Haji Kasam in Bombay High Court. Keeping in mind this aspect, Calcutta High Court has given a favorable judgment. So you should not forget all these things when you are claiming. Once an NGTP is declared, maybe a genuine NGTP will be there, but in the majority of the matters, on the basis of certain lists I came across, so they declares. Therefore, you please keep in mind section 16(2). So for these 4 aspects, once you comply, then your case is upper hand always. I think question answer अभी ले लेंगे because 3:30 हो गया. Question answer ले लेंगे sir? Yes sir, बोलिए please.
You said related to books of I have a question. There is a supply of services. So what is the documentation in books we email document evidence, email bill, making it down e-invoice, like for example, shipment, delivery. But how does to prove there is a supply?
Services yeah, in relation to.
It is very different. Like for example, we are in copyright or let's say for example, website development. So how to provide whether the actual services.
I will come at general at large. You have given a specific example. Even I will touch that part. Services, but enough, please. Services, very difficult to identify what it's his proposition. No. You first look into the nature of the services, number 1. what sort of services they have provided to you. On that basis, if it is suppose simply an advocate service, it is not taxable, a chartered accountant service. Whether that, if he has rendered as services, raised an invoices, you go and check whether he has attended before the authority proceedings, signs there. Number one, if it is attending, he has conducted the audit report is signed. Whether he has internally conducted the audit, raised some questions about that particular company to whom that invoice is raised. Because in the absence of substantive evidences, go by way of other mechanisms, circumstantial evidences you collect, because this is an evidence. Now, my learned friend has said that in respect of copyright, a separate law is for each and every aspect of the copyrights movement, endorsement, it ruled through an agency. Please verify that. Once you say that it is a copyright, patent, trademark, design, it routes through some authorities. Certain guidelines, certain mechanism is provided under those acts. Copyright Act is there, Design Act is there, patent law is there. Under that, even for an endorsement mechanism is provided. On that basis, you can identify. Number one. Number two, if a copyright is endorsed, suppose a film, cinematographic film, ये question आता है, for example, then they enters a distribution chain, partial granting and even sometimes fully giving a distribution challenge. Once first a lyrics is given, a lyrics has a copyright, and that lyrics copyright, whether he has taken fully or partially, retaining something, that license is sometimes he retains. Then you made a film and distributions channel is made, and partial distribution or full distributions, which area that agreement is entered. You verify, go and verify there. If you want to catch, verify these aspects, whether this film was shown during a periodicity of 6 months or not. Once it is distributed, because you are doubting whether ITC can be claimed on that particular by that film theater or not. So whether really that film was shown or not, you identify. Nowadays it's very easy. On the Google search you will find out, yes, ये कितना दिन चला था, 6 महीना, 16, अभी तक चल रहा है, वो तो दिख सकते हैं आप. So on that basis you can find out, because wherever a specific mechanism is not provided, then in order to gather the evidence, circumstantial evidence is allowable. Yes, sir.
Taxpayer had expected in 2019.
Presently,
the case is under audit of the taxpayer. Now they have released one supplier as an entity. And in 2019, where it was reflected.
Registration valid.
Now they select NGTP non-taxable. We cannot find it on the file.
May not be, huh? It may not be. He closed, might have business. He died, closed the business, run away somewhere else. What are the conditions under section 16.2, whether you have complied or not? You have to see that part. Then your burden under 155, you have to comply.
Then suppose the department is asking to reverse the tax in cash, but if they are present, I am saying
They have to issue a so called notice.
electronic credit ledger.
Hmm.
And if I want to reverse the ITC, I will reverse by electronic credit ledger only.
Correct.
Department is saying no, this is an NGTP, you have to pay cash.
No.
I don't think it is the correct.
See how the ITC is to be utilized. Specific machinery mechanism is contemplated in our law. It says by way of utilization from credit ledger, very categorically it clearly says. So the question doesn't arise. Making a cash payment only in the absence of insufficiency of credit ledger, then only the cash payment is to be made.
Right.
The mechanism is there, how to be distributed, how the ITC ledger is to be utilized. Mechanism is there under the law. No need. Sir, any other questions? Outside का कोई question है sir? इसमें कोई है? Other outside friends? Attendance है कि नहीं outside में?
75.
हाँ. As you pointed, आप बोले ना कि सांगली में लेक्चर हो रहे. सांगली में interesting lecture is I have kept there because their demand was there right from 2 साल से. So सांगली में लेक्चर रखा है. उसमें till date अंडर द जीएसटी लॉ 17 से लेके अभी तक जितना भी क्रुशियल इश्यूज केम, भले वो डेवलपर हो, भले वो सर्विस इंडस्ट्री लाइक इन्होंने सर पूछे कॉपीराइट की हो, ऑल सिलेक्टेड इश्यूज होल डे के लिए सेमिनार है. सो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा एंड ऑल टॉपिक्स ओवरऑल इनफैक्ट आई एम कवरिंग दैट पार्ट. इंटरेस्टिंग. और अभी तक जो लिटिगेशंस में पेंडिंग है और जो डिसाइडेड लिटिगेशंस है ऑन ए पर्टिकुलर इश्यू ऑन व्हिच आगे भी वो रिकवरी वगैरह सब कर वो इश्यू पे. आई थिंक ये टॉपिक तो बहुत बड़ा है. अर्लियर मुझे प्रवीण सिंधे साहब प्रेसिडेंट साहब मुझे 3 घंटा देते थे लेक्चर देने के लिए. ये नॉन जेन्युइन टैक्स पेयर का कंसेप्ट मुझे ही क्यों सिलेक्ट करता है आई डोंट नो, बट वैट बीएसटी एरिना से मैं ही देते आ रहा हूँ मेजोरिटी. ये एक एंड दिस व्हाट यू कॉल क्लासिफिकेशन. इन एनी केस थैंक यू वेरी मच कि एकदम खाने पीने के बाद भी नींद नहीं निकाले सुने. थैंक यू.
सर आई वाज मेंशन दैट आफ्टर खाने के बाद नींद आने का सवाल नहीं आएगा बिकॉज ये एनजीटीपी का वर्ड आ जाता है, उसके बाद में नींद उड़ ही जाता है दोनों तरफ से, सप्लायर का एज वेल एज बायर, इसका बायर का. एंड सेकंड थिंग, इनवाइटिंग यू ऑन द टॉपिक and invite you on the topic of NGTP. I think you are a lighthouse for us in this sea of NGTP dealers issues. Thank you very much, sir, for this. I invite Vice President Shri Manish Mathurkar to propose a official comments.
Whenever we are facing the problem of constitution, Indian constitution, we have an impact factor. Second, the classification and enhancement. Ratan sir is the master. He excellently explained the topic today. I request all the members to vote the reference 23-24. Already we are circulating the reference form on our website and to all the members of the human ID. And renew with your membership as earlier those who have not renewed it. Thank you once again, Mr. Sir. I request Vice President most members to propose that vote.
Thank you, Praveen sir and convener. To understand the importance of NGPT and lecture of Ratan Samal sir, Advocate Ratan Samal sir. NGPT is a situation where each and every deputy commissioner and above rank, they are getting the screen in that each of the big clients, for that whoever are the NGPTs, they are getting the screen in that just like Sudarshan Chakra, they are having this party so much purchases which has been doubted, and since beginning they have not paid. Like that, that Sudarshan Chakra is moving around, and any deputy commissioner can view, and any person can visit to the clients. Those who have seen that first and those who have seen the gravity of that, they will come to your client place. You have to be very careful about that. With this scenario, you will understand what is the importance of LGBT. And sir has taken us to a very, very minute level. Each and every cases he has discussed, and he has gone one step ahead to educate you to safeguard and to take precautions of your clientele. Similar way, there are certain tools available in the market where you can grade your creditors, your purchases with the Excel tool to understand the marking system, whether they are class 1 rating, or they are defaulter, or they have done payment of 2 months, 3 months, like that. So these are the things which I think that has to be collaborate with this. And sir, all case laws you have dealt with really mastermind, and please give big hand round of applause to Ratan Samal sir. And he has always supported GSTPAM, and we are looking for you the next year also. Continuing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to the conveners.
आर्टिकल आने Thank you, sir. Please rise for national. नायक जन हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंग, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंग, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मागे, गाय तव जय गाथा, जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय।